Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Hey, how's it going? Today is Tuesday, so it's on deck time. Post All-Star break, so teams are playing. Tonight we are not joined by the Sarge. He has some commitments, so we want to wish him the best on what he's got going on now. So tonight we're joined by Mr. Met, kind of, Ranger fan. Dirk, how you doing, bud?
Hey, what's up there, Big B and Chris? I just want to say, what the heck is up with Nelly Cruz? He's 25 years old again. He is absolutely tearing it up, and of course, and we'll discuss things like that later on. All-Star break, it happened. Now we're starting the second half. Things are going to heat up. We're right up on the trading deadline, and that's a big deal now in baseball. 20 years ago it wasn't big a deal, but now it's a big deal. So a lot of things are going to happen here. Everybody's talking about their stars, buyers, sellers, the in-betweeners that are, man, if we hold tight, we kind of got a core, but if we fold, then we maybe miss out on something.
Yeah,
so, exactly. That's a decision that, yep.
Yeah, stuff we'll get into. And then also joined, he's our production guy behind the scenes, Mr. Ranger himself. Chris, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Doing okay. So let's start it off. Chris, actually, why don't you give us a little update? Softball Olympics started today. So
yeah, softball.
You kind of watched it a little bit. So
I watched a couple innings of it. It was, with all the stuff going on in Tokyo, there was no fans.
Yeah.
And even though they're playing right now, or at least starting to, it might be canceled. So I guess they're playing whatever they could. But it was Japan versus Australia earlier, and
favorites.
Two favorites, and it looks like there's 2 innings left, probably starting the top of the 6th out of 7 innings, and Japan's winning 8-1. Yeah,
all right.
And then I think the U.S. and Italy is playing early tomorrow morning, but I'm not gonna watch that.
So you're not gonna be up watching it, is what you're saying?
It's at 3 in the morning.
3 a.m. to watch the USA girls.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's about 3 a.m. My time or our time. So.
All right. So before we get into baseball, what do you guys think? Do you think the Olympics will get canceled? I mean, I know we're a baseball show, but that was some big news brought up today. What do you guys think?
Honestly, to me, the way the wind is blowing, because they're actually talking about it, and it's up to the head Olympic guy in Japan.
Yep.
And there's a couple days left, but there are cases of COVID in Japan. And the Olympic athletes, for whatever reason, a lot of them are testing positive. Nope. I can't believe that. I don't know that they drop their guard and just start behaving willy-nilly and stuff, or, I would hate to say it, but, I'd almost prefer it to be canceled, do a reset in 3 months in October where the weather's still nice in Japan, and, try to get more stuff, because it's really sad. I would hate to see them delay it another year. They could do that, I think they did that years ago, like in the 80s, for one of the Olympics. They skipped one and then did it 2 years later, so it was like real close to the Winter Olympics, and then they got back on track. I forget what happened. But, you know, the country of Japan has put in so much money into that.
All the sponsorships and NBC and all that.
Unbelievable, you know. And I'm quite sure, like, the opening ceremonies and the whole venues would have been really fantastic. But on a little kind of a side note along with that, did you guys read or hear about that in the Olympic dormitories, the beds are made out of cardboard?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Guess why? Chris has seen this, so he probably knows. Yeah. Guess why?
Why?
So the weight of 2 people on the bed will break the bed, and this is to prevent the Olympic athletes from intermingling. And they also, you know, evidently that's a huge issue. But you know, you go to the Olympics, everybody you meet is in fantastic shape.
Oh yeah,
and you know, halfway hot. So. Hey, they're humans. They're going to intermingle, and stuff. And I know over the past few Olympics, they've done stuff. They hand out condoms all over the place. This year, they were giving them, you know, hundreds of thousands of condoms, but they used that excuse to say, well, that's to take back to their country to promote safe sex and prevent COVID. Yeah, right. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
And okay, when you get a gymnast and a marathoner on a bed together, they weigh 200 pounds. So the bed ain't breaking.
Right.
So, Chris, what do you think? You think we're going to see the full 3 weeks of Olympics, or
I want them. I want it to be canceled for everyone's safety, but since it's too close right now, and they're looking at it like, even though there's no fans or whatever, you know, no spectators, they're looking at it as revenue because of the TV contract from all over the world, US or whatever. So I think they're going to stick with it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll get them in. Hopefully the whole month or 3 weeks, whatever it is. I enjoy watching Olympics, but it would not surprise me if they canceled it. And again, for everybody's safety, they need to do what's best. So, but another one, quickly, just a quick win or lose. Do the Bucks close it out tonight?
No.
Okay, Chris says no. Dirk.
Man, they're kind of on the roll now. They are at home, and the Greek Freak is playing out of his mind with no knee, you know. But Chris Paul, experienced veteran, Suns got a young team. If Paul can get them guys, put them on his shoulders, and lead them through, it should be a really good game. You know, I have no clear-cut favorite. I kind of like it that there are 2 teams that haven't really been in it, and I would be happy for either one. And there's, you know, Chris Paul winning it, being in the finals for the first time. That will be great. Gianno in the finals for the first time. That would be great. You know, it's a toss-up. I think by all looks, it should be a battle down the end, you know, and, you know, I would, you know, I don't know, home field to the Bucks, I guess, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I hope they close it out. You know, many people know I'm not a big basketball guy. I enjoy the sport. I just haven't followed it much, but I hope the Bucks do it in 6. It'd be nice to give them something to root for. So, but shout out to Randy.
It'd be nice to see a 7th game too.
Yeah, it would be. You're right.
It'd be good.
You're right. So shout out to Randy. Hey, what's up? Queen Joanne's checking in. How you doing, Joanne? Glad you're tuning in tonight. So
howdy.
All right, back to baseball now. So Chris,
Yes.
What's up with the Rangers? What do you think they're going to do, or what they've been up to since the All-Star break?
Ooh. They have been outscored a lot. They're losing right now against the Detroit Tigers, 1-0 in the third or fourth inning. Last time I checked, it was like the bottom of the third. But we're just not doing too well. Joey Gallo may be on the chopping block. Actually, he is on the chopping block. They got about 9 to 10 days to go before the trade deadline. So, I mean, he's playing really well. So I hope he stays, but I heard like the Padres are looking at him hard.
Okay.
It's a funny thing with the Rangers, if I can hop on Chris's statement. And you trade your star for younger players, okay, so you can build. Well, Joey Gallo's 27, okay? He's just entering his prime, and he's having a good year. Since the All-Star break, he hasn't been good. People say, oh, the home run derby messes you up. I don't believe any of that because you don't think these guys try to have their own private home run derby and batting practice. Yeah. You know, they know what to do and stuff. He's just and the Rangers, they're that kind of team right now. They have some good players, but they can win 7 or 8 in a row, and then they can turn around and lose 10 in a row. But they have a good core. If you go Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Adolis Garcia, Joey Gallo, that's a good core 3 right there. Then you got Nick Solak at second base. He's pretty good. You know, he goes up and down now, but he's pretty good. They got some decent young starting pitching, more so in the minor leagues. They have a couple of guys that have potential. Plus, they did draft Jack Leiter. And their second and third and fourth round picks, a lot of pitching. So trading Gallo, and that's being talked about a lot, you know, okay, you know, you trade him, but you want a guy that becomes him. Yeah. You know, you want to get a couple of guys that becomes him. He's not 32, he's 27. 32, it's almost not a question. He's 27. Yeah. In this team in 3 years, you know, with them 3 guys and a couple of more, you know, guys that grow, they could be a contender. Okay. You know, this is what the Astros did. You know, a team from.
Yeah, we'll get into the trade and who we think is going to get there in a little bit.
Yeah. You know,
so I'm just looking since the All-Star break. The Rangers have only scored 2 runs in 4 games.
Yeah, they just fell on their faces out of the. They were playing pretty well before it, you know, and they got to like 15 games under 500, which was, you know, going up because they were like 20 games under, and now they've lost like 4 in a row. The hitters aren't hitting. Small sample size, but still. You know, also break a lot of teams. It changes. Some come roaring out of the gate. You know, at the All-Star break, some teams with a few days off, they have to find themselves again. You know, so you know,
Dirk, what about your Mets there? I mean, you're the only
guy we know. Talking about tripping on your foot out of the All-Star break and falling almost flat on your face. They lost the first 2 to the Pirates of all teams. And
we're not talking about something on that series. So
yeah, like they did. I watched the game the other day. It was the 7th inning. They were up 7-0, and I had stuff to do. So I thought, there's a win. And they lose 9-7. Thanks, bullpen. You know, and the rookie Pete McGill pitched 6 shutout innings. You know, he was great. And then on Sunday, they did a big comeback against the Pirates, and they won. So they only lost 2 out of 3. The biggest news is, once again, Jacob deGrom, he's on the 10-day IL because of forearm stiffness.
I was going to ask that. Do we see him anytime soon, or? Do you think they hold him out till September?
No, I think it's just what he goes through now or whatever the heck he's doing. I don't know why he's getting shoulder. Are they being overly cautious with him? That comes into my mind. Oh, he felt a little twinge. Keep him out. Don't pitch 2 more starts.
Yeah.
Is that going to hurt?
Let him go and bulldog his way through it. I'm sure he's doing what the doctors advise and everything. Forearm tightness. He's still pitching lights out. He did give up a few runs in his last start before the All-Star break. So his ERA climbed up to the astronomical 0.91.
So is this hurting his chances on winning Cy Young / MVP? Or
I think he'll miss 2 starts probably, based on if they arrange the 10 days off. Maybe he'll miss 3. That shouldn't dampen any of that stuff. He can't do that too much more as far as something like that's concerned. But he's got to be far and away the leader for Cy Young and a lot of votes for MVP. And the Mets, another bad note, they lost Lindor for a few weeks, oblique strain. And, man, these guys, you get the oblique, that's on your ribs, man, and you can't turn, And I was sitting there wondering, well, if it's his left side, maybe he could bat
right
left-handed or his right side, but you know what? They know better,
Yeah, exactly.
And in an oblique strain, they put him on a 10-day IL, but it could take 10 days. It could take 8 weeks. It depends on the guy, how fast they recover. How severe was it? Is it really bad or just a little tiny strain? But Michael Conforto looks like he's coming out of it. Had a big home run yesterday, had a home run the other day. He's starting to get his swing groove down and everything. Jeff McNeil's heating up. J.D. Davis just came back and he provided a couple of hits. Polar Bear, he's doing steady Eddie. Just keep plugging away. Their catcher duo, Thomas Nito and McCann, they're actually McCann catches about 70% of the games. Nito catches the rest. So they're both excellent defensively, and they're both of them together are providing offense. McCann came out to pinch hit the other day, hit a 2-run homer, tied the game, and then delivered an RBI single in the 11th inning. And I've seen some interviews with that guy. He's a good dude, I would love him as my teammate. He just all baseball, and he's a good, solid catcher. So they got some work to do. The rest of the NL East is fighting amongst themselves, and I think this is going to be a dogfight to the end. All them teams are pretty good. The only kind of weak team is the Marlins, but they're not that weak. The Phillies and the Braves, they're all bunched in there. We're probably going to see some lead changes, and probably the NL East winning team will probably win between 88, 90 games. That's it. Nobody's going to win 100 games. They're too competitive with each other.
All right. So there was a play this past weekend with the Mets I want to get your opinion on. Was the ball fair or foul?
The edge of the ball was over the foul line, okay? And that's what you go by. But the ball itself didn't touch the foul line, but it's the ball. It's a round surface, okay? And the bottom, is
across the plane like a football.
Right there. and the edge is over here, over the line. So the ball itself did not physically touch the line, I don't believe, but the inch of the ball to the right of center was over the line. Technically, I hate it, but it's right. When the ball goes over third base, the whole ball doesn't have to go over, just a tink of it to be a fair. Same thing with the line. It doesn't have to kick up dust, and the umpire was right there, and the couple of replays, they didn't really get in super close like a lot of times they can, but the one that was clearest right down to third base, it looked to me like if that ball had traveled 2 more inches, it would have touched the foul line, and been fair and no questions asked. But to me, the edge of the ball. And
so you being a coach, would you have been out arguing in your game? I know you tried to.
I wouldn't have argued that vehemently, and obviously Luis Rojas saw the replays. I think there was prior things, especially over the weekend, that were building up with him, and he had I kind of liked that from him. He was out there. He didn't need to bump the umpire, but I think that wasn't intentional. I think that was just in the heat of the moment. And Major League Baseball, they know his character, and he's like, he wasn't. He just, he's not a small dude. He's in really good. He looks like he can play. He's buff. And but he got, really riled up. Hey, maybe that fires the club up because they beat Cincinnati yesterday, and I think they were winning tonight. From what I saw earlier. So maybe
they're down.
Yeah, they're losing like 4-3.
4-3. Okay, yeah.
So they got top of 9, 2 out. So So moving on to my team, the St. Paul Saints. No, I'm just kidding. The Minnesota Twins. Wrap it up. They're going to be sellers this year. They can't pull their heads out of where they sit. They can't stop fighting with each other. I saw this on bickering with Donaldson and Arise, I think it was. Dirk, you mentioned it before we went on. Cruz is playing like he's 25 and not however old he is.
31 years old.
Yeah. So once I see him take the field, then I know we're back in the 90s when he started playing. So, but yeah. So Randy, you're right on probably your last 2 comments. Rangers and Twins both do stink it up. So.
Yeah, he said the Rangers are terrible, and the Twins are too.
Well, Randy likes to root for some terrible.
Don't say the Twins suck. Come on, dude.
They're terrible. They're terrible. There is. So my next question, I can't see him. Mike Trout, when he comes back, is that going to help or hurt the Angels? Chris, what do you think?
I think it'll help. I mean, one of his best players, or one of their best players. So I think any help that the Angels can get is probably worth it.
Okay, Dirk?
He'll make them better. I'm not sure they're good enough, a complete team. Maybe they could make a run at a wild card, with Ohtani playing lights out. Trout will come back. He's never been hurt for this length of time before, but he'll come back and be Mike Trout. So they might play over 500 the rest of the year, but I think they have pitching issues, complete lineup things. They got a couple of bona fide stars, but they're just a little short. But, with Trout and Ohtani, they could get hot, win 10 out of 12, and then put themselves right in there into the race, overtake the hapless Mariners. just a nod to Tim. But they're definitely not going to make a run at the Astros. I think the Astros got that thing. They're playing great. The A's are the team to beat. And as always, they got the young guys that just play good, and they get talent, And but the A's, the Angels, they could make a run at them. And, it's the Rangers aren't going to do anything. So, it's, if the Angels finish over 500, I would call that a success for them.
I kind of look good in this. Kind of look good in this Angels hat on top of my head. So, yeah, I think Trout will help them. So, next question is, let's see, Ohtani. You brought him up. How many home runs is this guy going to finish with? I think he's at 33 or 34 right now. So, Dirk, how many do you think he's going to finish with?
Well, now you're going around the league the second and third time, so pitchers are more going to have a book on him, but he's a very athletic player. I think he'll adjust. I think he'll get to 50, somewhere in that range, you would say with 33 home runs at the All-Star break, have a shot at 60. Who knows? Maybe, but I think easy 50 is in there. And he'll get end up with 120 RBIs. Great player. And he's not going to win the Cy Young because he doesn't. I mean, he pitches enough to qualify, but he doesn't regularly every fifth day. It's like once every 7 or 8 days. I think they save his energy to be a hitter. I always wonder, why can't he play in the outfield? I mean, that's what he was.
He plays a little bit out there, not too much, but
yeah,
he's got 34
a little more, just risking him getting hurt or something.
Oh, yeah.
Saving his strength for pitching. He does have a hard job doing the double duty, and he does it very well.
Oh, he does. He sure does. So, first comment Tim's got here. He's talking about Trout. He'll make them better, but they don't have enough pieces to make a playoff run, which, we kind of agree on. And then he says 56 for Ohtani. Chris, what do you think?
About how many starts or?
How many home runs will Ohtani get to finish out the year?
We'll go 60.
Woo! Yeah, I'm in the ballpark. He gets on a tear, he can push probably 65, but I think the safe number is going to be about 57 to 60. I think is going to be the
I mean, that's not too far off. So I mean,
no, it's not.
I don't want to go extreme.
He was on a little tear a couple weeks before the All-Star game. He hit 7 or 8 in 2 weeks. So you just do that 1 or 2 more times, and that puts him right there. Going into September with 50. I might be conservative, but I'd be 50 plus is what I say.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be over 50 for sure. So we kind of talked about a little bit. Trade deadlines here are coming. I think the next week or two.
Like 10 days.
Yeah, exactly. So where would you say the bubble would be for teams that are like, buyers to sellers, or the teams that are thinking about it? Because I think if you're in the 5 to 10 games out, you're kind of thinking, okay, do we make the move to sell? Do we make the move to buy, or do we stay pat? I think anything the past 10 games tend to, I would even say, closer to 15, you're selling no matter what, or you're staying put. But Dirk, what do you think? Where is that fine line at where?
Well, I would have to look at a couple of things. I think if you're 15 games out by the trade deadline, that's probably not realistic. But if you're 10 games out, you got to look. How's your team been playing the last month? Are they playing over 500? Do they have a chance to finish? you have to look. You don't want to trade away a star that's helping you to get prospects, because that's what they are, prospects. They're not all-stars. They're not Hall of Famers. There's the baseball road is littered with guys that were MVP in their first major league at bat, and they couldn't even do it. It's to me, really right around 10 games and look at how your team's doing,
Okay. Well, what do you say, Chris? Where do you think the line is to, teams that are on the bubble of should I buy or should I sell?
I think if you're like 15 games out, maybe you should probably consider.
Okay.
Because maybe you
can
come back from it, but I don't know. Maybe 15 games out.
Okay, I'm kind of with Tim there. I think 7 to 10 back. So looking at the standings right now, in the American League, you got Seattle, Toronto, New York, and Cleveland, all 7 to 10 games out. What do you think? What do you think with those teams? Which one should buy? Which one should sell? Or
if I can happily say, with a little bit of glee in my voice, there's been talk amongst the New York media about the Yankees. It's hard to say that they're going to be sellers. Because New York's hard, and the Yankees have not performed. They've kind of been stuck in the same place all year. Brett Gardner, he's 36, a great player, but I think he's at the end, and they keep playing him and keep playing him and keep playing him. Some of their regular players, they got Luke Voigt at first base, has all the potential in the world, but he's hitting like 189. Clint Frazier, the outfielder, has all the potential in the world. He's hitting under 200, and he's been hurt a couple times. I don't see the Yankees have some good pitching, but it's going to be a tough pill for them to swallow to be a seller. There's a lot of pride in that organization. They may just say, no, we're going to fight this, and which as a baseball guy, I like, because the Yankees aren't used to being bad. It's a foreign concept to them. And, but if somebody makes them the right offer, I think they'll be a seller. I'm leaning more on their selling than buying.
I think that'd be the first time that I recall that the Yankees ever went from the sell route instead of buying everybody. Chris, what do you think?
Very early 90s.
Yeah,
4 years. That was it.
Isn't like Judge on the market or thinking?
Yeah, he could be. And everybody's on the market, I believe.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Chris? Those teams listed, who should sell, who should buy?
Maybe Cleveland should sell and New York should sell. I don't know. Maybe all of them should.
Yeah. So in the National League, just looking at, between the 7 and 10 game range, you got St. Louis, the Cubs, the Marlins are on the verge. They're 10.5 out, and then the Padres. I know everybody's speculating the Cubs are selling, so I think that's a foregone conclusion. So
yeah,
what do you think on the National? Yeah. So what do you guys think on the National League side? Any of those teams sound like they're going to be buying, or they're going to be selling?
I think Padres would be buying.
Padres, I agree.
Padres are close, and they have a good minor league system. They could try to pick up somebody. The Dodgers probably should pick up somebody. I just read today Kershaw has an arm problem. The Dodgers are deep, though. They got a lot of young pitchers and a lot of young players. But, they already got Albert off the bench at first base, and he's kind of turned his season around. and so he'll be a veteran help for them.
Wow.
So if they could pick up another good pitcher or something, I would say, they would be buyers. Padres are probably in the same boat. They've got a good young team, Cubs are definitely, they got to sell. And it's weird with all the talent they've got on that roster. I don't know if it's just bad management or bad front house. I don't know why they're
Curse 2.0. I mean, who knows? I mean,
yeah,
who knows what the Cubs? But
I don't understand it. That to me they should be better, but something's not right. Team chemistry plays a lot. Maybe the guys just don't get along. The Marlins, as always, will be sellers. The Reds are in the fight. The Brewers are right up in there. They're both going to be buyers because they feel they got it.
Yeah, my buddy Tim there, he's happy hearing the Cubs are selling, and the Brewers definitely are going to be buyers. They're leading that Central now. So, what rumor players have you guys heard off of your teams that? I mean, Dirk, you're going to be buyers as a Mets, so I'm assuming they're not going to be trading. But Chris, with the Rangers, who have you heard? Anybody outside of Gallo being rumored to be on the move?
I think one of our pitchers,
Gibson, probably.
Gibson,
yeah.
Definitely Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson was one.
Maybe Fultonevich, yeah.
But I've been hearing a lot about Gibson, maybe pitched his final game in the Rangers jersey. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
he would be the obvious one, other than Gallo, which I wouldn't agree with. But Gibson would look good in a Mets uniform.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, that's what the Twins are facing right now. Outside of Donaldson and Cruz, being the older guys on the team that are talking about being moved. I mean, Barrios and Buxton are both being talked. And I know the Twins are talking about Buxton trying to extend his contract, and they want to put a lot of incentives in there, or else he could be getting traded. And I know he was linked to Phillies last week, and Donaldson and Barrios was linked to the Mets. And so, I mean, the Twins are in full. They don't know. I mean, I think they kind of want to sell, but they don't want to sell the Barrios and Buxton, which is okay with me. Now, a few years ago, I would have said sell Buxton for a box of water and a couple batting balls, because the guy couldn't do anything. But this year, changing my tune, and I hope they don't sell him. I kind of hope they, don't sell anybody. But I think Cruz will definitely be out there for the American League. I mean, unless a National League team can bring him in and just want to use him for the bat in the playoff run, but I think that'd be kind of a waste.
I would love to see Cruz back in Texas.
Yeah. Cruz back in Texas or Oakland. I mean, I think Oakland would be a good fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
Barrios, definitely, I'm kind of 50-50 on him just because he's young, and I'd like to see them have a nucleus to build around, but,
Big B, I've heard some rumors about Josh Donaldson.
Yeah.
About his clubhouse demeanor. I was reading some things this week that he's kind of an issue in the clubhouse, and I never ever heard that about him before.
Yeah, it's coming out now. This past weekend, Arise was at second. This was kind of what I was talking about earlier. Arise was at second, and he was kind of looking around as Donaldson's getting ready to take the pitch. Donaldson calls timeout because Arise's back was turned to him, like fully.
Yeah.
So he was barking at Arise, and Arise is like, "What are you talking about?" So then they get back into the dugout, and Donaldson is chirping at him, and it was the first base coach and Nelson Cruz that got in the middle of it. And of course, Rocco Baldelli is off somewhere else. They even pointed that out, that Rocco was nowhere in sight. And then so they got him out to the field, and I guess they still were barking at each other as they were getting ready to go out there. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Was that a case of the veteran yelling at the young guy?
I think so. Why is your back turned? You need to be ready.
Your back should never be turned when the pitcher's coming set.
But again, you're at second base. You're kind of trying to see where the outfielder, the second and shortstop's aligned. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's under the rug right now. But with that being said, Donaldson could probably be the first one out of there. Because we're Minnesota nice up here. So we don't yell too much. So
yeah.
So is there any other players you guys on other teams that you see being moved? I mean, we already talked about Judd and the Yankees. I mean, anybody else stick out that possibly could get moved?
On the Pirates, Adam Frazier, the second baseman.
Okay.
He's been mentioned a lot. Really good young player. I don't know why they would trade him, but he's been mentioned a lot. Hits over 300, has just mediocre power, but he's young, so he might get to be able to in that 20 to 25 home run range. Plays good defense, but for whatever reason, young player. I don't even know if he's 24 or 25 years old, but his name has been bought up at some, league leaders that may want to try to go get him. Now, if they overpay for him, okay, that's good for the Pirates, but that would be somebody. I wouldn't call him untouchable because he's not a superstar, but he's a very, very good player, and he's young. He steals bases. He does all that little stuff, and
looks like Frazier's 29, so he's.
Oh, is he 29? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Still.
I mean, he's still there. I mean,
yeah,
you need defense to win titles. So.
Yep, or maybe what is the term? The iron's hot strike. Yep. He's just having a career year, but everybody raves about him. Yeah. When I see MLB TV, they rave about him. I think he's one of these guys that's just, every year he's just gotten a little better and a little better. He hasn't taken great big leaps. He just does little things to get better and better every year. And maybe he's a guy that's going to play till he's 38 and 39 and be a quality second baseman, good bat in the lineup, good clubhouse guy. The Mets, he's an infielder. The Mets could certainly use him. It would create a log jam for them. But anybody that's got a good glove would help their infield, especially now that Lindor's out. Yeah. They're going to put Guillermo at short, and you got J.D. Davis and Villar at third and McNeil at second. Not the best defensive infield in the majors, but adequate. You'd like to see them up their defense a little bit.
Well, as long as they don't do a Buckner and miss the ball at first.
No.
So, Chris, what have you heard? Any other names pop out at you that you've heard?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
I mean, those are the only ones I could.
Yeah. The one name I haven't heard yet, and I'm kind of surprised, is Escobar from the Diamondbacks. The guy's a utility guy. I mean, he's putting up great numbers for a team that's, pretty much out of the race already. So there's a guy, you want to talk about a guy that can play everywhere. Dirk. That, honestly, he might look good in.
I've seen his name come up, but he's not like this. You always hear about the star players.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But not the really very good players. And
I think Escobar would look good in the Mets blue or even the Brewers colors. Shout out to my buddy there, Tim.
And they definitely need help somewhere.
Yeah. So are we shocked that we haven't had a big name move? I mean, I know there's been some minor moves, but are we kind of shocked that there's not been any big trades yet?
I'm not. It's too far away. We're going to get down to within 3 to 7 days. And then
so you're thinking next week.
Yeah. And then what happens, what will always happen, once one deal is made, then the dominoes start to fall.
Yep,
Everybody's waiting to see, because a lot of the deals are going to depend on what the first one, say the Cubs trade Chris Bryant to the Mets. They're going to wait and see what Chris Bryant got from the Mets, and then they're going to adjust their values, because they might have an idea in the head, I can get a lot for my player. But then when they see a trade go down beforehand and they're like, I'm not going to get so much, so I need to do a different angle of approach. It's once the first one falls, it's just like free agency in the offseason. Once the one goes, they all go. That's what I think.
What do you say, Chris? Are you shocked that we haven't seen any big trades yet? And
I'm not. I think you're going to hear about it, during the deadline. It seems like, all the leagues, whether it be NFL, NBA, or something like that, they seem like the big names are revealed during the trade deadline.
I'm kind of shocked we haven't had one big name moved. I'm not shocked that we haven't had multi moves already, but Dirk, I'm with you. I think once that first name gets moved, I think then the dominoes will start falling. So a little fortune telling. Who's the first name that gets moved, Dirk?
Who's the first team that makes a move?
Who's the first big guy that gets moved? Yeah.
Chris Bryant. I think he's gonna. It's almost daily. It's Chris Bryant to the Mets. Chris Bryant maybe to somebody else. One, his value. He plays several positions well. Everybody thinks he's a third baseman, but he's also
a third, first.
Yeah, he's also a really good outfielder, and he can play at first. He's played at first. So he's a tall guy. He's athletic. He's having a good year. I feel bad for the Cubs, why they can't figure this out.
Exactly.
Baez may be a guy that moves too, and there's been rumors about him in the clubhouse.
Yep.
He's like,
it's on those.
I never heard this before. And now all of a sudden he's an issue. Maybe he's getting scared that he's going to go somewhere he doesn't like. So he's starting to talk too much. He's a great player, shortstop or second base,
So you put money on Bryant to the Mets, or you're going to put money on
I'm not going to put him on to the Mets, because the Mets could really use him, but what's it going to take? Finally got a decent farm system going, okay? It's not the best farm system, but it's like 10th to 12th best. They're up there. They're where they need to be. And I think with their current roster, they're going to be a little stingy with their young minor leaguers. There's probably one or two guys that they'll let go if they can land a Chris Bryant, but they're not going to give him 2 out of their top 10 and then 3 single A guys that are really good. They're not going to do hopefully a stupid thing like that. I mean, Chris Bryant, he's like 30 or 31, so he's got years left and he'll be good. But I think hopefully they do a calculated move.
Okay. So Chris, what do you think? Who do you think the first big name is going to be moved, and maybe where?
I'm going with Gallo to the A's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, inside the division. Wow, that'd be somewhat interesting. I don't know, if it makes sense, but I could, we could see it. For me,
we could.
Yeah, we could. Bryant's been talked about. I don't want to steal Dirk's thunder, and I don't want to be a homer, but I think Cruz or Donaldson are going to be moved, and I think if anything, Cruz would end up in Oakland, and Donaldson probably to the National League, maybe Brewers or the mighty Mets there. So that's kind of what I think. So, but that's going to put a wrap on our show today. This is On Deck. Dirk, final thoughts. What's going on? What's going on in the game behind you there, or whatever?
Okay, Baltimore. Well, now they're talking to Justin Turner, ex-Met, on MLB. I got a bit of trivia today.
Okay.
Oh.
I didn't do mine. So yeah, go ahead, throw it out there.
Okay, I heard this from our local sports radio, The Ticket. Okay, Gaylord Perry on this day in 1963 hit a home run. Okay, and the reporter after the game said, "Oh, how'd you like that? Are you going to hit another one maybe?" He goes, "Man will be on the moon before I hit another home run."
Wow.
Okay, this is where it's funny. This date is when Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon.
Oh, okay.
3 hours later, Gaylord Perry hit another home run.
Wow.
Did step on the moon before he hit a home run.
Wow.
I thought that was wonderful.
Talk about being ironic there. So,
but also
Chris.
today, Bezos went up to space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the moon, but
he bought himself a rocket and he flew up into space. With an 82-year-old lady that's a local here. She's semi-famous. Her name is Wally Funk. She was in the early astronaut program with women for Mercury and stuff, and she's done some other pretty famous things. But she lives like 5 miles from me. And she seems like a really nice. She looks 82 and everything, but they were making a big deal out of that.
82
in Dallas.
I like that one. So, Chris, final thoughts here before we close out the show.
Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page where you can get some be entered in for some cool items we have here at Coast to Coast. And right now, the Rangers did get a score. Actually, they get a run up on Detroit.
News.
Now it's 3-1 into the 5th inning.
So,
yeah.
Okay, and then for me, it's just an update on the NBA Finals. I know we're baseball, but Bucks look to be up by 5 right now with a couple minutes left in the third quarter. But for me, check me out tomorrow on Sports Minute. And then stay tuned to Coast because we're going to be shaking it up just a little bit. Our football show will be starting in a couple weeks. You'll see myself, Chris, and a cast of others, I think we're planning on. Chris, remind me, movie night Saturday. We're going to move it up a little bit this week.
I think we're moving it up to 1 o'clock Central.
1 o'clock Central, okay.
And then we're going to re-air that at the usual time slot.
Yeah, so we're going to re-air that.
We'll re-air it.
Yeah. So, again, just stay tuned to the Coast to Coast Network and see what our programming is. We had some new shows starting this week. Got a couple next week. But with that being said, like Chris said, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to make a drawing here next week, I think.
The end of the month.
Yeah, we're gonna have a drive. So good luck to everybody that subscribed.
It's for that T-shirt you're wearing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for the T-shirts that somebody can burn. No, we got some good little items. I mean, we're not giving out nothing fancy like a big screen TV or anything, but it's something to commemorate Coast to Coast and our fans. So
yeah,
and
we're just starting up.
And who knows? We might even do 2 drawings. Not to be like LeBron James. We might do 3. We might do 4. I don't. We don't know. So
the decision.
Yeah, the decision exactly. So, with that being said, I'm Big B. That's Dirk. We got Chris, and check us out tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.